Okay, so for this first part, for the range, it's not -2 to 4 because the graph actually goes below -2 over here. So that should be, and that's that arrow that I talked about in a couple of posts ago. That although it doesn't have an arrow, if it doesn't have a solid point like that, it's implying it goes forever. So it should be -infinity up to and including 4. Because if I asked you what when x is 2, what's y, you would say it is 4. So even though it's just graph, not dot, we want to include that point because that point is actually on this line. For the next one, let's see, let me bring this over. Just did that so I could see the graph while I had the question open. So how many, oops, that didn't work out. There we go. Okay, how many times does the line y equals 4 intersect this graph? So y equals 4 would be a horizontal line right here, and it intersects one time right there at actually 2, 4. So that would be the point of intersection. So that should just be once. Give the intervals of x such that k of x is greater than 0. Use the union symbol. Okay, so if it's greater than 0, you have to be careful on those brackets because you're not wanting to include the places where it is 0. So where it would be greater than 0 is, that means it's above the x-axis, right? Because this is saying where the y value is greater than 0. So it's anywhere above the axis. So that would be between -7 and 6 and between -2 and 7. So notice on the -7, they're using a bracket because that point right there isn't a 0. It's 1, so that is greater than 0. But on this endpoint, they're using a parenthesis because when I ask you when x is -6, what's y, you would say it is 0. So that doesn't, we're not supposed to include the equals 0. So that's why the parentheses on the rest of these where they're right on the line. And then k is give the interval that it's less than 0, so that's the places where it's going to be below the axis. So that's going to be between -6 and -2, and then from 7 to infinity, and those should all be parentheses. Yep, because they're all actual, oops, where did we go? They're all actual endpoints that are landing on the 0, and we can't include the zeros.